problem. Here's what's on tap for today. Duluth Ice Forum. That's where we're going to be until about 10 o'clock today. Buck and Kincaid this afternoon back out at the Tour Championship, weather permitting. Are they there or not?
As of right now, no.
As of right now, we'll have to wait and see. Coming up tonight, Wild Wing Cafe. That's where the party's going to be between 5 and 7 this afternoon during the Buck and Kincaid show. You got West and L hanging out there. And then the high school game of the week, Valdosta at Brookwood. That's coming up for you tonight, 7:30 to 10:30. So that's your Friday as we begin the weekend lineup here on 680 The Fan, Atlanta Sports Station. Don't tell me I'm agreeing with Perry again. This could be a problem. The Patriots coach, $500,000 fine.
Yep.
The Patriots themselves get a $250,000 fine. I'm kind of with you on this one. I don't know that I agree with that necessarily. I think that if you asked Arthur Blank whether he'd be willing to sit down right now and write the whole check, I'm talking $1 million check, for 3 championships for the city of Atlanta, he would write that check immediately.
You kidding me? Belichick probably spends $500,000 just on the chick he was banging on the side. He probably got her set up somewhere. Wow.
Here on 680
Again.
The Fan, Atlanta Sports Station. Stephon Marbury had some pretty interesting things to say on the stand in this Isaiah Thomas sexual harassment suit. This thing is seedy and dirty and just nasty and vile.
Gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
Well, then when he was grilled by the attorneys, he says, "Oh no, I never really thought too much about her." And then they put the hot light on him and the screws and the little bamboo under the fingernails. He broke down like the end of a bad Perry Mason episode. And he says, "Yeah, I called her a B. Yeah, I said a lot of different things. I said she doesn't run S. I may have said fudge her, but I didn't call her a black B."
Then he
So
shouldn't have any problems, yeah.
At least he drew the line there.
When
And
you
got
stop
to
there.
appreciate a guy who can hold himself back a little bit and not cross that black easiness. Would you write a check for $500,000 for 3 Stanley Cup championships?
No.
Why not?
Like I would, I would pay. I would want the cups. I would want a coach. I would pay the fine.
You would pay the fine, but you would write the check then.
Yeah, for
Who
sure.
wouldn't? Who wouldn't? That's why that fine is probably not enough.
Yeah, they accused him of cheating in case you didn't hear, and that's what part of this.
Stealing the signs.
Yeah. I mean, it's a competitive disadvantage.
That's why we have a video camera here.
How many signals? Do you guys have any signals or signs you use on the rink?
Very little. Like,
Yeah.
like lots of time it's more eye
Verbally?
contact with our players, and like they kind of know what we try, because like obviously there's not as many plays in hockey than in football, because there's less stoppage of play.
Great time, isn't it? Finally get back. 9 o'clock, going to hit the ice here at the Forum. Looking forward to another season. Let me ask you, last year, a lot of pressure on you guys and the organization to finally get to the postseason. Get there. How is it different this time? Do you feel more pressure because now we've got to go further than we did last year? Or do you say, wow, it was great to finally get there, now we have more confidence? Is your job easier now? Or is it more pressure?
Well, I think that the pressure is always the same, because there's 30 teams starting this morning on the ice, and by early April, 14 teams will be going home and 16 teams will be competing for the cup. So that's basically like 50-50. So it is tough. Like the good part of this year is that like last year we found out what it took to make the playoffs. Then we found out that being in the playoffs is certainly very, very tough. So
We got a set of tickets to give away. Maybe one of these lucky fans here can get the tickets, and then our friend New York Nick gave us those, and he just got a jersey from downstairs, which looks really nice.
Did you buy that?
Yes. Boy,
Beautiful.
I thought Bernie might come in that snug, aerodynamically sound new gear, but Bernie is dressed to the nines here, boy. The jacket, the collar, very
Beautiful.
nice.
Hey, the owners are here.
Gorgeous.
Today.
Gorgeous.
Send the image, look presidential.
I thought you've just gotten back from court.
Lovely.
Are you suggesting there's something personal?
No.
I don't have any dogs.
We had a happy.
Oh, why you gotta go there already, Bernie? That's totally unnecessary.
Georgia Brown.
Oh, no.
Isn't it funny, Bernie? Everywhere you turn, there's taint. It doesn't matter what sport. It's just everywhere you turn, it seems.
Yeah, what is your take on? You know me.
Go with that.
Oh, well, because I don't think it's nearly sufficient enough.
Even soccer now we haven't touched on
Bernie,
the.
Bernie,
Oh yeah,
we asked
got to get there.
Coach Hartley whether he would be willing to write the check for $500,000 for 3 Stanley Cup championships.
Sounds good to me.
What do I sign? He said. What do I sign?
Who wouldn't?
Right.
That's why you have to take a second look at that Belichick 5.
Well,
And I know you can't really talk about it, but when you put it in those kinds of terms, of course a championship, one championship is probably worth $1 million.
No less three.
You know, I mean, the bottom line is there's so much faith and goodwill in this stuff that, you know, I can remember, oh gosh, it was 20 years ago when I first got into Major League Baseball. And I remember sitting down with Jimmy Leland and Rick Roden, our pitcher at the time, was, you know, someone who allegedly used, you know, what they call Emery boards.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at Jimmy Leland and our general manager at the time, said, "Did he cheat?"
right,
And they thought I was the dumbest idiot that came in.
you're ignorant to it because you're not aware of it.
I was a university professor. It's like, you know, what's the matter with you? So, you know.
No, because you're an honest guy, and the thought would never occur to you. You don't have to apologize for
Even
that.
this-
Katrina, I think said it all. I mean, you know, there's certain line of, you know, that people go to, and then beyond that line, it's like, no way, Jose. I mean, you know, in baseball, the visiting team mound at Three Rivers Stadium was deliberately screwed up. It was not as high. It was twisted to one side.
Right.
You know, and the pitchers would laugh and say, "You think it makes any difference what stuff I got in the pen before I go to the mound? It doesn't make any difference." You know, there's allegations of Minnesota that they have the air conditioning and the fans on from behind home plate blowing to the outfield when Minnesota goes to the plate, and when the opposing team goes to plate, it blows back in. And apparently they found some validity to that at some point in time. So, you know, what the hell? You know, it's like the NBA referee scandal. You've got to have faith.
Watching.
No, trying to cheat, trying to get the strategy for the team.
What strategy?
I
they
mean,
just run around aimlessly.
More
on
and
the
more
field
people
and
all the
kick
time
ball.
are trying to get an upper hand.
Hang on a second.
Rude
I
thinks they're peeping
Hang on a
toms.
second. I saw that video on the Hun.net.
That's not the one I'm talking about.
Oh. Now, what would they be cheating? With strategy what? How you deploy the players?
I think I saw that in Porky's.
All right.
Don't go there. There's no strategy.
Right. And there's no athleticism in golf, according to Perry,
Yeah, I
too.
heard that. No.